Great day, freestyle family. I hope that everyone is truly enjoying your Sunday, especially since it's self-care Sundays. Which brings us to our message for today. Today is National World Mental Health Awareness Day. I feel that mental health awareness should be every day, but this is a great day to talk about it. So let's talk about it, family. Please like the video and share. If I say anything that inspires you, you never know. It might inspire someone else too. So as I stated, today is World Mental Health Awareness Day. Time to focus on your mental health, your well-being, caring for yourself, because as we all should know, we cannot care for anyone else unless we are caring for ourselves. And we cannot pour from an empty cup anyway, so it's always important that we replenish ourselves. So, our thought to remember today is your mental health is a priority, your happiness is an essential, and your self-care is necessary. All of those things are going to help you be the best version of yourself in life. And I know that a lot of times, and I can speak for myself, we really do neglect our mental health. We neglect caring for ourselves because we have so many things to do. We have so much on our plate. But this is the thing. Just as your mind is important in regards to what you think, what you speak, and what you manifest in your life, your mind and your mental health is just as important in terms of how your world looks if you don't take care of it. See, because the way I see it is, if your mind is free, everything else follows. You free your mind, the rest will follow. However, if your mind is not free, if it's cluttered, if you're experiencing anxiety, if you are stressed and frustrated, and I'm sure that we all have been there at one point in our lives, we can realize how our lives looked during that time when our mental health was not at its best. So I just really quickly want to talk about some things that I do and just some things you can begin to practice on a daily basis that will help you make sure that your mental health is balanced. Whatever that looks like for you, remember this is for you. So I like to say begin a daily wellness practice, something that you do every day, but mainly for your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, however you see it. Because once you start doing that, it's going to follow into your physical world. For me, I make it a habit of before my feet hit the floor, I am going to get my spiritual and my mental and my emotional state in balance. Soon as I rise, before I do anything else, that's what I do. I just suggest you all do that, whatever that looks like to you. I learned that it was important for me even before I greet my mate, even before I, parent my child, before I run my business or go to employers. We have to have that part of our lives in balance because it really does trickle down into your physical world. So just practice doing something every day for your mental wellness, preferably as soon as you rise. But even if you, for whatever reason, cannot do it at that time, try something else throughout the day that will help you to balance your mental health. I walk, I dance, or I'm going to sit in silence. At some point in the day, those are just things that help me balance my mental, especially if you've been out within the world and you've endured some things. You definitely have to get your mental health back in balance. So get outside of your mind every day. It's important. We have a lot of things to think about. We have a lot of tasks. We have a lot of demands. We have a lot of things we have to do just in life on a daily basis. It's a process. We go through things. And those things really can overwhelm us in our mind. It's important to get outside of your mind every day. Anxiety, stress, and things of that nature really do stem from you being in your mind too much or you having too much on your mind. Practice getting outside of your mind every day. I tell myself, even if thoughts come up and they cause anxiety or something to me, I take a minute. I take a minute, take some deep breaths, whatever I need to do, sit by myself, listen to music, whatever works for me, just to get my mind out of my mind, just to get myself out of my mind for some point within the day. Because once I do that and I take care of my mental, I can get back to it later. You know what I mean? Because it's not saying that you're neglecting it, but sometimes you really have to take a moment, take a break, and just be. So, with that being said, getting out of your mind entails you removing the unnecessary. Remove anything, person, place, thing, or idea out of your mind that is unnecessary. When I look at things being unnecessary, I look at it's not important to me. It's not a priority. It does not serve my highest good. So why do we even have it there? Why is it even occupying space in your mind? Just as if you look at in your world, when you have unnecessary things in your world that bothers you. When you have unnecessary things in your mind, it will bother you. You will not be at a balanced mental state. And to be truthful, when your mind is unbalanced, that's why your world is unbalanced. When your mind has a lot of unnecessary things in it, remember, it manifests in your world. That's why it's important to remove the unnecessary. Assess your relationships. Some things that we don't realize are direct reflection of our relationships, however you see them, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's colleagues, whether it's business, personal, romantic, whatever. A lot of relationships have a great effect on your mental health. I'm going to say this and I'm going to move. If you got family around you that's keeping your mental health out of balance, handle them with that long handle spoon. If you are in business situations where it is not helping your mental state, let me tell you something. You can find another business opportunity. You can find another job, but you won't be able to find another mind if you lose it in the process of being in those situations. You just won't. And lastly, if you have romantic relationships and things like that that are not serving your well-being, especially mentally, assess them. Just assess them. Because normally a romantic relationship is similar to like family. That person is going to be in your life every day. So if they are not good for your mental health and they in your life every day, imagine how your mental health is suffering. So it's very important to assess any relationship you have that is affecting your mental health. Check in with your people. Keyword, your people. Check in with your people, the people that you know are connected to you, are important to you, love you, you love them, you have healthy, balanced relationships with them. Because you know what? A lot of days, all people walking this earth are enduring something. We're not okay. Especially right now with, the things that are going on in the world that everybody is experiencing, no matter who you are, even children, it has an effect on all of us. Check in on your people, because just because somebody isn't calling you don't mean that they're acting funny. They may not be okay. And you may need that favor to be returned to you when you're not okay. It's okay to check in on your people. Keyword, your people. Because your people wouldn't be people that you haven't heard from in 6 months unless something is really going on and you're doing all the checking. Check in a couple of times just to make sure they're okay. And even in that aspect, assess the relationship. If you feel that you're always the one checking in, they may not be your people. I'm just saying. But do not assume that someone is okay and they're just not contacting you. Check in on your people. Make sure people are okay, because sometimes, most times, saying you're not okay is the hardest thing to do. And lastly, be willing to change and learn. A lot of us have been through things in our lives that we just not willing to change and learn from. For example, a lot of people think that they're at their best when they're being the most productive, they're working hard, they're busy, they're doing all of these things. And that may be okay for a while, but how are you replenishing yourself? How are you rejuvenating? Like, just because you've been doing it for 10 years and that works for you, does not mean it's the best for you. And that's why we see a lot of times where people just break down and they're not okay, but they never said they were not okay, and people didn't check in on them, and they just felt that they just had to keep going and pushing themselves. Just because you did something continuously does not mean it was good for you. and it served your highest good. It's okay to change and learn from that. I'm speaking from personal experience that I did that. I had to learn in the process of caring for everyone else. It literally drained me. I had to learn how to take time for myself and care for myself and know that I could not pour from an empty cup, period. And I know that it's difficult for us to see that sometimes, but just like on the airplane, when they say, parents, put your mask on first before putting your mask on your child, they're basically saying you can't even save your child by putting their mask on first. Look at that for every relationship in your life. You can't save yourself by putting somebody else's mask on before you put yours on. The same with your mental health, the same with your well-being. You can't save somebody else if you're not in a healthy state of mind, a balanced state of mind. If your mental health is not well, you can't. And remember, if your mental health is not well, everything else will follow. Your physical, emotional, and spiritual state of being will not be well. If you free your mind, everything else follows. So I just recommend that we practice these things on a daily basis. Do what works for you. Just do something. We have too many people suffering that don't have to. Even when you feel like you can't reach out to someone, maybe learn and how to practice things that will help you until you're strong enough to reach out and say, I need help, I'm not okay. Because truly there's nothing wrong with saying that. It actually makes you a great person to want to care for yourself, to want to keep your mental health and your life in balance, and knowing when to say that you need assistance with doing so. Until the next time we meet, I hope that I said something to inspire you, family. I am sending you all peace and love, and I wish for you to be in the healthiest state of mind.